plastic products all require a mold before they can go into mass production. So, how do you choose a mold based on your production quantity? I'm Blanca, and in the next 3 minutes, I'll help you quickly get a handle on this. Molds can vary dramatically in level. There are very cheap ones and extremely expensive ones. Often, a high mold price isn't because the supplier is overcharging. It might be that you selected the wrong type of mold for your needs. So, the key is to choose the mold that truly fits your product's requirements and, just as importantly, your production volume. If your parts are just for structural or functional validation, and you only need several dozen to 100 samples, using CNC machining at this stage can be relatively costly. A better option is to make a silicone mold. It can easily produce tens to hundreds of parts and is very inexpensive. If you need to do small batch validation, requiring hundreds, thousands, or even up to 10,000 parts, then you might consider a rapid mold, often called a soft mold. It's called a soft mold because it uses relatively common steel grades, like number 45 steel, S50C, or P20, with a hardness typically between 20 to 30 HRC. This hardness level means its wear resistance isn't exceptionally high, so rapid molds are generally suitable for producing up to around 10,000 parts. These molds are relatively cheap and use basic configurations for components and standard parts. When your production needs reach tens of thousands, or even 100,000 to 200,000 parts, the parts usually also have higher surface finish requirements, like glossiness, texture, etc. In this case, you need to choose a pre-hardened mold. Examples include molds for some home appliance housings or automotive interior parts. These molds typically use steels like 718 or NAK80, with hardness between 35 to 45 HRC. These steels offer better wear resistance, polishability, and impact resistance. If your requirements reach hundreds of thousands or even millions of parts, then you need a hard mold. Both hard molds and the pre-hardened mold mentioned earlier fall under production molds. The hard mold is the high-end option in the industry, often called a heat-treated hard mold. The materials used are generally high-hardness tool steels like S136, H13, or 1.2344, with hardness around 48 to 52 HRC. Why are these molds so expensive? Firstly, these steels are hard and after heat treatment offer excellent wear resistance and a very long service life, making the raw material itself costly. Secondly, they require an additional heat treatment process. Furthermore, because the material is tougher, machining it demands more advanced techniques, more manpower, and more time. Additionally, these high-end molds, capable of millions of cycles, are fitted with the best available components. If you're not familiar with these mold types, and you end up choosing a production-grade mold when you only need a few thousand parts, your cost will understandably be sky-high. Therefore, in the vast majority of cases, mold selection depends directly on your product quantity and quality requirements. And this also dictates what type of mold supplier you should be looking for.